Hello, so we're looking at faults with low pressure, either on the air cooling, which is the bottom one, or the heating, which is the top unit. Now, first things first, if the resident phones up and they say, oh, I've got no heating, or I've got no cooling, or I've got no hot water, the things what you want to be asking over the phone is, has your system got pressure in it? It should have between a bar and 2 bar. That's cooling, and then the top one, heating, between a bar and 2 bar. This one's on a bar, so it's probably borderline okay. But what I do is I'll fill that one up today for you, so you can see how to fill it up and get the system working again. If someone was able to do so. So basically, so you've got loads of these drain off points, yeah? So you've got one now, yeah, that's got a non-return valve in it. So that would tell me, because it's got that little screw in now, that that's the main filler. That's on the cold, yeah, which is number 5. Well, if you go to your grid over here, number 5, it'll say chilled filling loop, cold water, number 5. Central heating filling loop, number 4. It tells you what numbers are what on there, yeah? So if we go to fill it up, which is off the mains, which is off that one, so all we do is undo that, take that cap off, and basically we want to fill the heating. So the heating one's central heating says it's on valve 6, number 6. So if you find 6, which is there, yeah, they've actually put an extra one here because there's one there, because they've realised that the hose won't reach from there to there, so that's another filler there. So basically I'm going to take this one off of there, yeah, I'll take this filling loop out, off of there. I'll connect that to, we said 6, that's heating. Put them on there for a minute. I'll connect that to that. Like that. And I'll connect that to that. Someone obviously had to go before, because you can see where it's gone through the thingy, you know, the installation. So then, with your hoses connected, you notice that the lines is not in the directional of the water, so that means it's off. So if you turn that one on first and then turn this one on, what you'll see is this gauge. What you'll see is this gauge will be starting to go up. So I'm going to turn it on now.
Yep, good.
So then the gauge slowly fills up. As soon as you get it to 2 bar, wait a second, it sometimes drops a tiny little bit, and then you fill it up a little bit more. You want it bang on 2 bar really, because you're expecting it to have a little bit of air in there after running it for a while. So I'll slightly keep it topped up to 2. And when it's on 2, you go back to it. Obviously I've turned that lever back off, so that one's off, and then I'll turn the other lever back off, and now you can take the loop off. When you take the loop off, just get a bit of toilet roll. Normally, just get a bit of toilet roll, because you get a tiny little bit of water coming out of here. And obviously, if you wanted to be really picky or whatever, you don't want to see. Loosen the what's it? Obviously not ideal, that ain't, but it's quite warm outside, so I'm not that bothered. Right, that's not being on. I'll take the loop off. And then if I was going to do the chilled one as well, which I will do because it's a little bit lower, and I'll just show you how to do it anyway. Yeah, obviously you put these caps back on after you're finished, just in case someone knocks that and you don't want water coming out everywhere. So make sure that's off and that's off. Like I say, that's off. and the tag's back. Yeah, and then you do the chilled. So now. So knowing this is chilled, that's 7. It's got a number on it, 7. If you go to the bolt, it'll say 7 chilled cold water fill up. So same principle. Take the cap off. Put the loop on. That's the loop on. Obviously we're going to fill up the chiller now. This one here. So I'm going to turn the main one on first. Yeah, and then turn this one on, and then the gauge will start going up.
Yeah, carry on. Stop. Yeah, bang on.
Sometimes they just go down a tiny little bit after you just first do it. That one don't really like it's moving. We'll leave that one there. So obviously turn this one back off. Top one back off. Bottom one back off. Undo the loop. Obviously, first of all, if they phone up and they say, yeah, I've got pressure in my boiler, but my boiler's not running. I should have got a bit of tissue, mate. Right. Let's get some tissue out of it, right. Put the loop back, put your caps back on. On the cap. Two cap, make sure that's off, make sure that's off. Put your number back up. You know what's what. And that's it. So another thing to look for. So if someone says, oh, my heating ain't working or my chiller ain't working, first thing, to make sure the unit's on. Now the red light means it's on. If you've got no light, it ain't on. If it's not on, underneath there, you've got a few spurs. It says boiler on it. Yeah? Make sure that switch is on, which it is. If the red light still ain't on when the switch is on, get them to check the fuse in there. So all you do is take a flathead screwdriver, put a flathead screw, turn that off first, put a flathead screwdriver in there, pull it out, change your fuse for one out of your Hoover or whatever, and that will get that back on. Other than that, if all else fails, put the job through.
Okay, quick question. Let's just say if a filling loop is missing for whatever reason, are they pretty easy
In the flat?
Yeah, are they pretty easy to obtain?
Alright.
Yeah. Or if there's any spares anywhere about.
There's no spares on site. I've got a spare one. I'm more than welcome to leave it with you.
Okay.
So you can have a spare in the office and someone comes down to you and says, I can't find my filling loop.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
But generally, are they generic in size?
Yes.
If someone was to
Yeah, all the sites are same, exactly the same. They're ½ inch. So an ½ inch filling loop. Yeah?
Okay.
You do get ½ inch and you do get even smaller down to 10mm. But on your site, all you've got is ½ inch. So worst scenario is this person's got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, don't even need 2. But they've put 2 because they've realised that one that won't reach this one.
Okay.
So they put you another feed there.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them ain't got that. They'll only have 1. But in theory, you could take that away with you today because this only needs 1. You're only going to fill 1 at a time. So if you want a spare one, this one to have a spare one. I'm glad you said it. Because there you go.
Okay. And another quick question.
Yeah.
This chart on the wall.
The chart on the wall.
Is that generic for all apartments? Yeah. So all apartments should really have the same number set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is generic.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've all got the same sheet, and it should be the same numbers on the same tags. The tags should relate to the same numbers. Obviously, fuse bolt. Obviously make sure your central heating one, if they're moaning about hot water central heating, make sure that's on and it ain't tripped out. That's your first line of call. But to be honest with you, if you was coming here first and someone said to you, I've got no hot water central heating, you'll walk in, you look for the red light.
Yeah.
If it's got a red light, it ain't the fuse, it ain't the fuse board. If it's got low pressure, you know it needs topping up.
Yeah.
So there's 3 things you've taken out already. If there's anything extra other than that, they need to put the job through. Obviously make sure that's hot water, but make sure heating wise, if they're asking for heat, if they want the heating and they're not asking for it on the stat, that's one probably not. So it's got the stats have got to be on heat only. That's the only way you get heating out. All the other functions, auto, low, medium, high, are all to do with aircon. So it's heat only if you want heating.
Okay.
Because that does the underfloor heating. Everything above that does aircon. Yeah?
Yep, got it.
Just so you know, just while I'm here, fans, yeah, obviously these filters, they should be cleaned out, yeah, they should be cleaned out every 3 to 4 months, depending on how many people live in here. Look at the state of that. Yeah? Whew. That should be done by the resident. Yeah? Every 3 to 4 months. Yeah? So you take them out, hoover them out, or knock them over the back and in a rubbish bag so you don't cover somebody else. And there's 2 of them. Yeah? Keep getting this job come through. My orange light's flashing. Obviously it tells you everything what's on here. Yeah? So we've got 2 flashing oranges lights, which means there's 2 flashing oranges, which means bypass. The only reason that's in bypass is because we're in the summer. Because it's too warm in here, they can sense the temperature, so it works a bit harder. So meaning that the orange lights come on. That's all it means, yeah? So it's not a fault. The only way you can phone us up for a defect on these units is if you've got a red light on that fan fault. Everything else, I don't want to know about. Yeah, it's down to maintenance. If there's a red light on the fan fault, that means there's a problem with the unit, you put it through as a defect. Anything else, it could be like, if for instance, if we left the boost on in the bathroom, or the boost on in the kitchen, that would put the orange light on as well, yeah? Speed 2, speed 3, yeah? A lot of people forget about the one in the kitchen. So obviously, you know the ones in the bathrooms. So obviously the other switch to this, right? The other switch to that, one's a light, yeah? One's the fan, runs in boost. Make sure you turn them off. And then the other one they forget all the time is, yeah, they leave that one on. That's got written on fan on the thing. That is actually a boost which is connected to the bathrooms, which is only for that grill. And plus, don't do that at home either. That's illegal. Yeah? Someone's put a box over a fire thing. If there was a fire in here, the sprinklers wouldn't go off and you'll burn the place down. So basically, everyone leaves this one on. So basically, that fan in there is running in boost all the time because everyone thinks that is for this, but it's not. This comes on its own. Yeah, this has got its own switch. Yeah, which I'll prove to you. Yeah, fan comes on its own. You shut the thing, fan goes off. Right. If I turn that switch off, it don't make no difference to the fan because it's nothing to do with that. All that is a boost for the extraction, yeah, which is connected to the bathroom. So basically, if it's running in boost all the time, tell him to check the fan switch, turn that off. You're never going to use it. Yeah? And that turns it off on its own. And that's it. I just thought I'd put the fan in there as well. Just because I'm getting a few issues with the fan. Alright.
Alright, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Okay.